1 p.m.
Hey, everybody. It is 1 p.m. It is time for 1,000 Marriage Questions on our new, exciting time. Everybody watch this.
But okay. I was walking through Walgreens with my mask on a couple days ago, and I went by the condom aisle. And I mean by the condom aisle because at this age, we don't need condoms in any way. Although I thought when I saw the mask and I had looked at the condom mask, I thought it'd be good to have had the pandemic back in 1983 so that I could have worn the mask to buy condoms to stop all the embarrassing, awkward questions. Now, see, at my drugstore, you had to go to the pharmacist and ask for the condoms. They were behind the pharmacist. And he was relentless when I would go in. Like, do you know how young you are? And I was like, I'm 18. And he goes, do you know these aren't 100% effective and can break? And I said, yes. And he goes, are you aware my wife and I have never approved of you dating our daughter?
Hey, yeah.
Hello, Donna Wilburn. How are you?
Hello, Brad. Doing good. How are you?
Fantastic. So that is my, this is my buying condoms bit, wishing I had a mask when I was 18 so I could, because I don't know about you, but I don't know if we've talked about this before, that we had to, when I was a kid, you had to go ask. The family planning stuff was behind the counter. You couldn't just pick it up. You had to go ask the pharmacist for the condoms. And that was always very difficult for me, even though most guys are saying, hey, I'd be walking up there getting excited. Look at me. I got a chick. And I was thinking, this is the last couple of days I've been thinking about what kind of people we are, and the people out there, what kind of person you are when it comes to relationships. Are you somebody who loves that beginning of the relationships, loves having that uncertainty, all that early fear and romance? Is it going well? Is it not going well? Is our relationship steady? Or someone who, like in a marriage, that is really likes the comfortableness of this constant relationship, is steady for the rest of your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because there's like that beginning part, that's the high part. And some people with that high, they get like, it's too nerve-wracking. They don't like it. It's like going on a roller coaster. Some people really enjoy it and they think like, yay, let's go on a roller coaster. It's fun. And then some people like, yeah, no, too scary. I don't like to do it. So I see both kinds. But I'd say me, like, I do kind of enjoy that beginning part. I do think it's a little exciting, like a roller coaster. But as I got older, I really appreciate the comfort. I really do. The security, the not having anxiety.
I like being in one thing and knowing what it's going to be so I can live my life. And especially if it's with somebody, because I've always
security. You like security.
Yeah. Although I love roller coasters and thrill rides. So that's a whole different thing. But I have always been, and I've had in my past, before I was married, I've had 3 real relationships, 1.5 years in high school, 4 years out of high school, married. Now in between there's been about 1.5 years or 2 years where I was a comic on the road and there was a one night stand, or I dated somebody for a couple of weeks, and I never truly liked that. I didn't like that, not having somebody to go home to, not having somebody to communicate with, having to find the next one. You know what I mean? Because you're always a little bit horny. You're always thinking, hey, what about that? And I just never took to that, even though I did do it. I mean, I did, boy, if the opportunity arose, I would jump in.
Say no.
Yeah. Well, matter of fact, I broke up with my college girlfriend. We dated for 4 years almost, because I was now on the road for a year and she was still in college. And I came back and I said, I'm going to cheat on you. I said, we're probably going to have to break up, because what has never happened in my life is I have these opportunities where these women are actually coming up to me, which has never happened. I've always, either been in a relationship or after the shows, they're coming up to me and they're like, hey, you want to go out? You want to do stuff? You know what I mean? And I said, at 23, it's going to be impossible for me to say no for a while. And she was like, okay, had fun. You know what I mean?
That's good recognizing your limitations before you cheated.
Yeah. Yeah. Not that I've been perfect my whole life, but yeah. And so, and then, it didn't take long, only a couple years where I was like, yeah, I don't think this is for me. Cause I always felt like it wasn't that right. You know what I mean? I don't know. You wake up the next day, you're like, I don't even know who cares. This person, they care about me. And sometimes I really like them and they didn't want to go on with anything else after this. And I was like, oh, wait. And then sometimes it was the other way around because in comedy,
the relationship more than a girl did.
What?
You wanted the relationship more than a girl may.
Every once in a while, I remember way back in the past. Yeah, there was one. I was like, what do you want to do today? And she goes, well, I'm going to the beach. I'm with my friends. I don't care what you're doing. And I was like, wow, that's really wild. I feel, what am I, a piece of meat here? And, but there were other times too. And I wrote about it in Hell Gig, my book, Hell Gig, that sometimes as a comic, and this happens to women, it's creepier when it happens to women comics, they've created a 2-month relationship in their head while watching you on stage for 45 minutes. So when they come up to you, they've already decided you are alike. You've already been dating for months in their mind because we have a bond that you have no concept of in your mind at all. So it's almost like if you end up doing something with them, you have to break up the next day. You have to have and that really would scare the few times that happened would just scare the living crap out of me. And to find someone who then is the rest of my life was just a kind of a joyous occurrence. I don't know. It's like when I go to a new town, I love traveling, but I like the place once I'm used to being, like we went to Paris and we stayed for a couple of weeks, right? The first couple of days, I'm always a little sketchy. But once I get the lay of the land, once we get around a little bit, I know where to get coffee. I know where to hang out. I know where to do what we're going to do. I really, really tend to enjoy that contentment.
No, I hear you. But there are people out there that the high of the novelty, the high of new is stronger than the security, the joy feeling that goes with, I can count on this person. This person's my person.
Should they be married?
They probably should work on that first.
Yeah, because what are you going to do?
I mean, you're going to addiction kind of thing. That addiction to the high can mess with marriages because you're going to lose the high of the novelty.
Yeah. And as we've learned from the past, the day I was high on this show for the first time in my life, when I took that pill, and the last time ever in my existence, that I have no need or want to be.
You're okay with not.
I like this contentment. I'm happy as it is. You know what I mean? I'm fine as it is. And I enjoy. I don't need that boost in my life because I like knowing things are the way they are. And it always worries me about people who, man, they just got to have that next. You know what I mean?
That's people who are not content with life as it is.
And nor should they be married, probably.
That might be a problem.
And they need to tell the people they're dating that they are those people.
Yeah. Like and it's an addiction. I think it's a lot like an addiction. And that's how addiction happens, is when you're trying to self-medicate real life, because real life you can't handle it and it's not enjoyable for you. So if your life is enjoyable and, you're in a good place, addiction is not a problem.
If you can, I've heard doctors say I could prescribe heroin for you and you would do it well for the rest of your life. You'd be fine and functional. But I don't know if anybody really wants that. Well, I think about my dad, who may or not be listening, is a gambler. He's always been a gambler. He's always a risk taker. And man, as he thrived in many ways and then lost money in other ways. And it's interesting to me that I am in no way that kind of risk taker. I'm not a gambler in any way. I get bored, actually. Like he'll play, the slots and the cards. I'm 10 minutes in, just, I don't care.
I get bored too. It's more of a chore than anything. I don't even want to go with people who want to gamble. I'm like, if you're going to do that, I'm going to be so bored. So, no.
Oh, I know. Now, Timmy, here's my thing. Isn't there a thing as too much comfort or contentment though? Well, yeah, but that doesn't mean your relationship.
No, it's not too much comfort.
Yeah.
I don't think there's too much comfort or contentment, but maybe there is like not enough novelty. How about that?
Yeah. Or
Not
yeah,
enough
I don't want to get bored. I don't want to, but finding a new partner. And Timmy, let me tell you, your wife is on here and she just asked you if you're just too comfortable and content right now. But it's not comfort. It's not bored with the person. We may need to spice this up or look for other avenues for ourselves.
that you
But
can do
I don't-
together.
Yeah, that we can do together, or things that I can find that are not, relationship breaking up things that I want to do personally. Let's say it is riding a like my wife, not into the rides anymore, roller coasters, stuff like that. If I want to do that, I sure can, because I like that excitement. She's not going to go. And that would add a layer too. Do you understand? Do we understand that?
Yeah. But I think and I have to tell couples, in order to kind of rejuvenate their bond with each other and that emotional intimacy, that connection, that in tune kind of place, to add a little something to it. And, you see a lot of articles and books out there about spicing up your marriage. If you do something together that is new and enjoyable, it will intensify your bond, at least for that time. And if you make it a regular thing, like once a month, we go do something new, once a month, we go, try something out together, then it does keep that bond just a bit more, intense.
So what you're saying is get a really big screen and watch porn. Is that what you're saying? Watch a lot of porn.
If that's how you interpreted it,
I did not.
then you may need some further counseling.
I need much therapy. I only said that because I watched a show today where this alien guy got addicted to porn and it put a virus on their computer.
Alien, like a
yeah. It was. For some reason I'm watching the Orville. I don't know why I'm watching the Orville, but it's Seth MacFarlane's takeoff on Star Trek, and I was watching this guy with porn addiction, and then the lady was saying to his husband that it's two guys that, let's be nice to him because porn addiction is an addiction. It's a sickness. It's an illness. But, you're also kind of a jerk if you're doing that and you're not, and you're totally turning away from your partner.
Yeah. It's not healthy for the relationship. I'll tell you.
No,
Watching porn recreationally here and there, addiction. No, any addiction is going to mess with the relationship.
Yeah. So no, I don't know why we're on to porn just because I made a joke about it.
There.
Well, I joked. It was a joke.
You throw porn in any opportunity you can.
I do not. Let's go back to the tapes. Well, because it's a good, easy way to make a joke is because where jokes come from is
porn on the brain. Have you ever heard Freudian slips?
Yeah, I've looked up that slip many a times. I'm like, woo, pick that slip up, and they call it an upskirt, I think is what they call it, the Freudian. Oh God. Well, let's do questions. What do you think? Okay. Although I think this still is a good topic about what kind of people we are. And because you want to go into a relationship with the person, because a lot of times women or men too, sometimes thinking, oh, this is it forever. And that person's always looking with one step out the door, 1 foot out the door.
I think we should have ingredient labels. So what you're getting in for, like we can look at what's in our crackers, but we can't tell what's in our person.
That's right. Yes. So you say if this one says, there's nuts involved, you're going to be in trouble. Yes. Made in a factory where there's nuts. That's right. So how do you kick your grown child out of the house at 22 years old, which is really pretty young, 22? How do you kick your grown child?
That is kind of young for our culture and and this day and age. They're really in their 30s. They can be still with their parents or leave and come back. There's a lot of that's happening. It's a high cost of living in this world, and sometimes you need to be a team.
Well, that's what I'm saying is the fact that it is so expensive right now. Rent, you can't rent any place nice for less than $1,000 a month. And there are a ton of jobs available right now, but finding something depending on your skill level, that pays enough to pay rent, to get in that section before you've grown in your career is difficult. And I think we go back to the days. Look, we had all that time in the 50s, 60s that kick the kid out. But before that, people stayed in their homes they even brought their families in for a while until they got going. So,
yeah. And they still do in many cultures. They like living together. There is a benefit to the family unit living together. I don't know about America culture, why there's such a fixation on kick your kids out of the house. I think, yes, they need to be working and they do need to be responsible and all that kind of stuff. But why do they have to be out of the house to do that?
Well, here's the problem here. It's because we don't teach them, as you said, we don't teach them how to do their chores when they're kids. So they're 22 and they're still not putting stuff in the dishwasher. They're still not helping around the house. They're still not. So what happens is you have to now have a totally different relationship. It is now an adult in your house. First of all, pay rent. You can have them pay rent. They have a job. It doesn't have to be $1 zillion. It's a couple $300 a month. They'll know how to pay rent. Also, you can talk to them about if they're going to provide any food for the house or what they're going to clean. Now you're going to be in charge of doing this or that. And then you turn out, you're like, oh, this has been a good thing instead of a nightmare.
So I do have my 31-year-old son lives with me. Mm-hmm. And it is like that. It's like you have to pay your portion of the rent. You have to buy your own food, feed your own self.
Pants. Maybe if you made him wear pants around the house, that'd be a good thing.
Yeah, there's a dress code.
What are you talking about? We've seen him in his underwear standing right behind you.
This is his room.
I'm
in his room.
He has I
use his room as my office.
He has a very lovely feminine room. That's very pretty.
It's his and his granddaughters. They share a room, or his daughter, my granddaughter. They share a room. She's only here on weekends, so it's his room. In her week.
That's so sweet.
But we have standards. Like you can't leave a mess around the house. You have to clean up. He has this room and his bathroom, and there's a certain standard of cleanliness. Like I'm not super picky, but there is a standard. So I have behavior standards, you can't blare music when we're sleeping, but I don't have like a curfew or you have to, he's 30 something years old. I can't tell him you better be home by this time. And I'm not going to feed him but he
can't come wandering in drunk. Hi, back everybody.
No.
What about bringing the chicks in? What about bringing in during the week, a couple?
I don't know. That hasn't really been a thing. He's
a couple of hookers and some cocaine,
Maybe if that was a problem, we'd probably have to have a talk about it, but that's not even been a thing. So luckily we haven't had to really talk about it.
Hey mom, this is Candy from the bar that I just, she was dancing. And now
what would I say? What would I say?
She's moving in. she's going to come stay with us for a while, a couple months.
I don't know,
next to me.
How I would do that, how I would handle that. Luckily that they don't have to, he's not that guy.
Oh, that's good.
Messing around with somebody, he's not at this house.
Well, hey, what about this? Because my nephew started dating a girl and they were about to get an apartment and her parents were like, well, why don't you guys just come live at the house? We've got so much room. He's been living with the girlfriend and their family, and it's like the greatest thing in the world. They're having so much fun. Although now I think they're getting an apartment because the two of them make about $2,500 a week. So they're like,
oh, well, goodness gracious.
That's a ton of money. And they're like, we should get an apartment. I think they're going to get an apartment now, but for a couple years at least.
Yeah.
And she's got 4 brothers and sisters from the ages of 24 to 7 that all live in the house with the parents.
Really?
Well, I think my nephew was lovely.
I have a 2-bedroom house.
Yeah. Yeah. So they've got a 1-bedroom. So it's all 1 bedroom. It's all bunk beds.
It's all one big bedroom.
Yeah. 1 bedroom, 1 big bedroom.
A lot of bunk beds.
A lot of bunk beds. The love life's strained a little bit.
Or 1 big floor size mattress.
That's right.
So you just walk in and lay down.
Yeah. Well, that'd be a nice family kind of fun thing to do. Although I will tell you this, as far as beds go. So Janet, my wife, is a roller. Like she'll roll. Like I stay in the same place, go to my side, go to my back, go to my side, you know what I mean? she rolls, right? Oh, on the bed.
Distances.
Yeah. Well, as long as it takes as wide as her body is to roll, she'll take up that space. Boom, 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 boom. So 2 nights ago, I made the mistake of rolling over, and I'm laying like almost at the side of the bed, and she rolled all the way over right on top, right here. And I literally had this much. I had the amount of bed as
Luckily, you're skinny.
was.
You're like, only take up this much space.
That's right. That's right. So that's all. I couldn't even lay back on my back again because she rolled all the way over.
Oh, and you're like sideways skinny. So
yes. So I'm sideways skinny. So she's right there, and I just out like a light. I'm like, can't move her. I can't get. I said, maybe I should get out and walk around and get in the other side.
All right, there's like that much bed left.
Oh yeah, no, there was enough bed for 2 people on the other side of her. Is what there was.
That's funny. That is not me. I am not a mover, but we have 2 dogs that sleep with us and 2 cats. So like we like us.
I hope your allergies aren't bad.
No, my allergies are not bad. It's like the Petco bed.
I just got a text that asked me what my girlfriend's name was in college. Why, do you want to meet her? Laura was her name.
Is her.
Her name was Laura. Actually, no, because it could be. But what's interesting about her is because her sister came up to me on a cruise about 2 years ago, the first time, came up to me on a cruise and said, I don't know if you remember me, but I'm Laura's sister. And I was like, oh my gosh, yes. She'd gone through about a cancer. And I said, I haven't seen in 30 years. I haven't seen her. And I said, this is great. What's she doing? She told me what she was doing. She never got married. Is that interesting? So never got married.
That does happen.
And I saw her again at another cruise about 1.5 years later, and said that I was the only guy she ever dated that she thinks she would have been able to stay with for her whole life, of all the guys she dated. So that's a heavy weight to hold.
We broke her.
Well, at the time though, when we broke up, she was like, yeah, we're probably
Is
done.
that the one that you said, like, I'm going to cheat on you?
I said, I'm probably going to cheat on you. And she was like, yeah.
One?
Yeah. Well, and she told me at the time, no, here's what happened at the time. She told me at the time too. She said, yeah, she goes, I've been thinking about, because I was gone all the time. I mean, I'm a new comic on the road. Mm-hmm. I'm gone 8, 9, 10 weeks at a pop. So, and we had been together 4 years in college all the time. And she goes, yeah, there's this other guy I was thinking about. He's kind of nice. And we've been talking anyway. And so we really looked like we're kind of ending anyway. Now, that being said, until I met my wife, the day I met my wife, the day before was the last time we were together. Like I would come back. You ever have a relationship where you weren't together, but if you were off, you just go and hang out anyway, because you still really cared about each other. You just weren't dating. So I helped her then find her new apartment when she got out of college. I helped her do a bunch of stuff.
Still stayed friends.
We still stayed friends.
Friends with benefits.
Yes. Until the day I met my wife. And then that was all over. But we did have dinner one more time. She got her MBA in Purdue. And about 6 months later, we had just one dinner. And she said, yeah, I'm dating this one guy. And I said, yeah, I've met this great girl. And it was kind of a real nice kind of closing. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's nice. That looks like
it was fantastic
transition. That went well.
Yeah. But then to find out that she never married any of those people. And now 30 years later, her sister tells me, yeah, you're the only guy that she would have ever really felt, she could be.
Well, that's a little flattering, but
a little. No, it's not flattering. It makes me a little sad, actually.
You're like, oh, sorry.
No, that I could have ruined her life. What the hell did I do? Not that her life is ruined now. If she'd have stayed with me, we stayed together, that would have ruined her life. Then then her sister would have come on the cruise and said, you son of a bitch, how dare you? What kind of person are you?
Right. She would have been hunting you down.
She'd have been hunting me down. I said, hey, no, she can't stand you. Okay. At 76 years old, boy, you don't get this question enough. At 76 years old, how often should I expect to have sex?
With who? It depends on who you're having sex with.
I don't know. At 76, well, it doesn't say if it's a man or a woman. At 76 years old, how often should I expect to have sex? This is
I don't
so,
even know how to even interpret that, because I don't know if it's saying how often should I feel like I want to have sex, or how
no.
often should I demand the other person give me sex.
Or find sex, or am I capable of having sex?
Yeah, I don't know what they're exactly asking.
At 76,
you can be capable, absolutely.
of course. At 76, how many Viagra a month should I be buying?
Is that what it was? It was like, I need to budget.
I need to budget, and Viagra's like $5 a pill. So
how many do I need to get?
How many do I need?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, one of these days, we're going to have to get a really older person on here to say, like, do you still have sex? Is it true? I can only tell you what I hear in the office and what I hear around me from the older folk, and they are still pretty dang interested from what I hear.
Well, no, my goal, my dad's 30 years older than me, and I've always spent my life checking in and him telling me what to expect as time goes on, back from when he was in his 40s to 50s to 60s, and not just sexually too. I'm talking about in life and health and what's going on with your brain and what's going on with your body. And he is very descriptive and graphic about at 86 where his sex life is, and the process it's gone through over the last 40 some years, and what he is and has been doing all this time to keep sexuality alive.
Well, that's one opinion, though. That's one opinion.
Yeah, I know, but genetically it is connected very much with me.
That,
you know what I mean?
So you can follow that route. You can change that route. But does he say that there's still desire, and we?
Oh, of course, yeah, there is desire. He's very specific and tells me things that are like, wow, okay then. But really, but like anything else, and I tell him about things. I told him about when you talk about your prostate and stuff like that, the tests that I had, with the cystoscope and stuff like that. And he's like, oh my God, are you kidding me? He doesn't want to do that. He's like, oh my God. Cause he's never had, I mean, obviously being 86, he does have a larger prostate, and we're going through the same things, getting up at night and stuff like that.
But he hasn't had the exam?
Not that exam. He's had other exams and things tested. He's had biopsies.
Prostate exams?
What? No. The digital. He just hasn't had the cystoscope. He hasn't had the GoPro they put up the end of your penis. He hasn't had that.
Well, look at what Elena says.
What'd she say? Ooh, Elena, have you worked at a nursing home? Trust me, there's desire.
What's going on?
Oh, look, it's a picture of her nursing home. So, Elena, you've worked in a nursing home, and yeah, I hear there's a ton of STDs. That they're passing around STDs all over the place in the nursing homes and stuff like that. So,
the secret lives of the geriatric community.
Yeah. Well, I hear that we were at. I won't post. She just posted where she works. So, but yeah, we were just at the Villages, and their big reputation is that they are just swinging like crazy down there. Swing City,
Oh goodness.
They've got Cialis fountains, just like chocolate fountains, but Cialis.
Oh goodness gracious.
So there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things obviously you can do that, I mean, I've heard.
Well, the answer to that question is as much as you want.
As much as you can or want or need. Like, even thinking about 76, I'm wondering, are men still pleasing themselves at that age? I mean,
that's gotta be happening.
Gotta be.
That's gotta be.
Well, you got to figure that guy from the Patriots went to the massage place in Florida, and he's 80, isn't he? The guy that owns the Patriots, Timmy. Who is that? What's his name? Timmy's a football guy. I can't remember
that stuff.
Oh, well, he owns the Patriots. I think he's 80, and he got arrested in Florida for going to a illegal massage where they did a little happy ending, is what they did. and he was in his 80s.
This guy owns the Patriots, and he can't get someone to like come to his house or hotel room or something.
Yeah, but that gets you in trouble too. So I just, although for everybody out there, Robert, here you go. Robert Kraft, everybody. Robert Kraft is the guy. Although they're not going to,
the guy.
No, he's already been caught, and he's not going to be, I don't think he was prosecuted. But for everybody out there, New York City, Vance is the district attorney's name. In New York City, Vance, the district attorney, has said they will no longer prosecute anybody for sexually related prostitution or massage or stuff like that. They will not prosecute that. And then he said, I'll see you at 5, Candy. But it's an old joke, but they did. So New York is not going to prosecute, should this be illegal?
Well, I don't think it should be illegal if both adults are consenting. That's like, should babysitting be illegal? Should my services, I'm a therapist. Like that's kind of intimate.
So you're saying sleeping with the babysitter shouldn't be illegal?
No, services. These are personal.
Servicing the babysitter should not be illegal?
Consenting adult.
Sure. All right, babysitters out there, time.
You're terrible. Terrible.
By the way, Tim knows he's worth $6 billion and has a young girlfriend, and he still went to the place. I guess because think about this. I guess something that's easy and quick, you're just like, there's no responsibility on your side.
You can easy and like quick that. Yourself.
Yeah, I know. But if you don't want to, and it's right there and you got $6 billion, no, I'm not saying I've never been involved in such things. I've not gone. It really skeeves me out. But I can see how sometimes like, well, I'll just do that. I'm out of town. It's easy.
A lot of females go to those massage parlors too.
Well, wasn't Kellogg, the guy who made the cereal back then, wasn't one of the main thing was women who were anxious or having trouble. He would there were doctors that would manually manipulate them to have an orgasm, and they called it, I can't remember what they called it. They called it, I don't know, but it was a thing that, women would go and get as a service to make them less anxious. And I think Kellogg was one of the guys that did that. Anybody know? Anybody look that up. Somebody Google that.
Is interesting. Well, now they just have the massage parlors.
Yeah. But I think that's great. Women going in now, a lot of people then would say, what about the marriage though? Can you go do this? You're consenting adults, but then you're home with the wife. Can you do this?
I'm going to say if you think you have to keep it a secret or you can't tell your partner, then it's probably a no-no. But if you're like, hey, I'm just going to go over here and, be back in an hour.
Get a handy.
First of all, if you're a woman and you're telling your guy that, he's like, hello, I'm right here. Like,
is that true? Are there guys that are going to go have fun? Go, it's too much work for me. It's too much work for me. I can't handle the work anymore.
Yeah,
let somebody else do the work.
No, I think in my head, I think a guy would be like, why, if I'm right here and I enjoy that and it's free?
Like, but what if he can't? What if he is unable to get you over? The problem is he's not able to get you where you need to go.
And then you need a professional.
You need a professional. He can't. You like him. He's a great guy, but he's never gotten you. He just doesn't have it to get you where you need to go. He's I'm done. And that's all he's got, no matter what you do.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that would be another topic for therapy. I think there would be a way that we can make that happen, but
so you need a sex therapist.
I was thinking more manipulation versus actual intercourse.
No, I am too. But maybe he is incapable of manipulating. Of course, there are vibrators and stuff like that, obviously.
Yeah, but, I don't know. I haven't really come across like an actual couple where the female's like, yeah, I'm going to go over here. I'll be back in an hour. And the dude's like, okay, bye. See you later. Either they're not telling me or I haven't come across it yet. So I don't know how
Yeah,
that.
I'm not saying it's happening all the time. I'm just saying that
But I don't think it should be a secret. I don't think
nothing should be a secret. I think of a woman right now going, I don't know, my forearm's a little weak. You want to just run over to
Yeah, right? Like I can. Well, I'm really territorial, so it wouldn't work for me. But I can.
It would not work. It would not work
Yeah, like I'm busy.
None of this is working in our house, but I'm saying that I just see a woman going, look, my forearm is just dead here. Could you just maybe
tennis today? And
my wrist, could you just head over to go over to the shop and let them finish that up? Okay. Well, and so if you're 76, get that done. This one always bugs me. Is it as miserable as everyone says it is? Is it as miserable as everyone? First of all, who's everyone?
What?
Well, that's like people who say, I know every person I know who got the COVID vaccine is dead. You don't know anybody, and you just made that up out of space. Who's everyone? I want you to get me 10 people right now.
Do you think they're saying marriage is miserable?
Yes. Well, of course, because it's about marriage. Is it as miserable as everyone says? Is marriage as miserable as everyone says? You're just taking the biggest stereotype from my first question is, if you know all these people, what horrible people do you know? Who are your friends?
Yeah, I know. What are you using as a reference?
Yeah. These are your people?
Unhealthy people who have unhealthy relationships. That is not everybody.
That is not everybody. Oh yeah. Well, it depends on who you are. Because Elena, of course, all of her exes. That's 10. So, well, then she needs to work that out herself. Yes, those are your exes that didn't work out with. So it's all you. You're the combining factor there.
Oh, she's the reference point.
She's the reference point on that one. So it's their other relationship.
Yes, it is.
So it's just that kind of thing bugs me that you've done. It's people who want to do no work whatsoever. They don't want to learn.
That is true. Because like, if you don't have some work ethic and understand that relationships will actually require some effort. If you don't realize that and you're expecting it to be like, just, I don't have to do anything and it's great, then it might not be great. It is a project that it does take work and effort and growth and change and adjustment and adaptation.
You got flies in have you moved to Africa? You got flies landing on your face. That is terrible. How do you do?
It's a very rude fly.
That is very rude fly. So yes, I agree. Well, and you could say that about anything, about being miserable. You know what I mean? Is working as miserable as they say it is?
My job is miserable.
My job is miserable.
If you did, or if you didn't pick the right job, then
you seem like a miserable person. You are bringing the misery to this. If you can do anything with less misery. If
you're miserable, it'll be miserable.
Yes. Oh my God. Okay, one more, and then we're gonna take the quiz. Okay. How to know if you're in love.
Okay.
If you're gonna get married. Where's the strangest place you've ever done it?
You said you had a whole book about this.
I have a whole book. I did have a whole. Oh yeah, I have a whole book about this. It's called "Strangest Places People Have Sex." You did it where? It's on Amazon. Everybody, go get it. It's fun. It's just a place. And people, and they're all real. I got people don't know where strange is. That's what I've always said. Like mine is a washer. Mine's a dryer, like a washer and dryer. That's the strangest really I've ever done it.
I would say mine is on a rowboat in the middle of the sea.
In the middle, the sea? What do you mean the sea?
What sea? The Mediterranean Sea. A little rowboat.
Ooh, that is really nice. Well, not in the middle. You were just offshore somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
You'd be 79. You'd be 100 miles offshore if you were in the middle of the Mediterranean.
Okay, not the middle, Mr. Literal. Okay.
So you took a rowboat out. You took a rowboat out, bottle of wine, got some cheese. And was this with the husband or somebody else?
Somebody else.
All right, somebody else.
I was quite young. I think I was like 19 or something.
Not how old was he?
Maybe like 22, 23.
37. But so that's that. Mine was my high school girlfriend back in high school.
In the washer.
On the washer. Well, because it was the farthest place and loudest place away from her parents' bedroom. That's why. Hey, when you're in high school, you have limited places you can go, and the car just gets uncomfortable after a while. You just can't always be in it. Just especially when you have a Toyota Corolla. That's 2 seats. You know, it really gets tough. That'd be the first experience. So what was my first experience of actually having sex? Actually committing the whole sex thing was in the high school parking lot in the car.
That was your first experience?
Yeah, it was after a play practice. In a bed? It was February 25th, 1983.
And you remember the date?
February 25th, 1983. You damn right I remember the date. I almost had sex that last October or early November, but we never got to the sex part because it was with a crazy person. And so so we never had sex, but actually with, the girlfriend that I'd been dating for about a month and a half and stuff like that, yes. And so for both of us, it was the first time. And then I remember the next day coming to school, and she was really tense, and I was really like, oh my gosh, you felt a change in the universe. You know what I mean? We felt like, and she thought maybe I wouldn't talk to her, even though we've been dating for a couple months.
That is a girl's fear. It is a girl's fear that, that's what he was waiting for. Because I think we're kind of programmed to think like, don't give it up. Once you give it up, he's gone. And so
which happens all the time. But see, again, back to the first thing we talked about today, I'm not that way. I like having a place to port. I'd like to keep that. You know what I mean? I was like, no, I'm all in. If we're going to be doing this, why am I'm not looking anywhere else. So what are you, crazy? I've got this. I don't need, you know what I mean?
Oh my gosh. You were just so grateful.
I was so excited and grateful and amazed because I remember how gross, because when we started dating, we'd known each other for years, and we'd been friends and been in theater all together. And she was very cute, very cute. I've never been cute. And but she'd always been attracted to me because there's 0.04% of women that are wildly attracted to me, even though 99% or more are not in any way.
It's a fetish.
It's weird. They just goofy looking.
Yeah, they have a thing for that. Like, guys.
Yeah. So you just want a guy's going to take you in the rowboat, baby. So get the rowboat. So yeah, because I've always talked about this in my act. It's weird to have anybody attracted to you but there's such a specific group that is, but they really are. They're like really attracted when everybody else in no way, which is why people always said when I was like, hey, go talk to her. And I'm like, I already know she's not attracted to me. I mean, I can tell. You can tell in just talking to people and meeting people. Like people go out in bars and they're hanging out and they're trying to meet people. I always knew immediately what was going to happen when I met people, because for some reason, this very, very small amount of women, very small, would kind of immediately light up. And I knew, hey, this person kind of digs me. And why would I be trying to force one who doesn't to do anything? So I'm trying to push your little button here. Oh, yeah, we have to be done. Okay, so we've got a little time. So what was I saying? Something about, so this girlfriend, we started, we were in high school, we went to a party then, it was a theater party, and we ended up making out on the living room floor for like 2 hours, just like in the middle of the party, people all over the audience. Yeah, with an audience. It was weird. What were we thinking? We just were like, it was so silly. Everybody else is just talking around us, and we are just making out on the floor. And then, so I know, amazing. It's amazing. So you were in a boat. By the way, strangest places that I've gotten, like in the book, in a morgue, in a drawer, was a big one. I know. I think I've said this before. She was stiff at first. How about in Lincoln?
Those one-liners in the book, like after you tell a story.
Everything's a joke. Yeah. Oh no, it's hilarious. Everything's
make a joke about it.
I had a publisher that wanted me to write stories for each one. And I said, I don't think people want that. And we sold a ton of these books. It's just the place that I vetted and then a joke like things like in a cornfield, which isn't that strange, but I wrote the joke. This is the best it's ever been. No, I'm over here. So just stuff like that. But in Lincoln's lap in the Lincoln Memorial.
I think there's cameras there.
Not 30, 45 years ago when this happened.
Oh my gosh.
No, this happened because I sat down. I said, how's this? Because got to figure I'm doing these in the 90s. I wrote this book in the mid 90s. And now this is somebody who did it 30 years before that. So,
okay.
So they had even taken the time to figure out who's coming around and how late it was. And there were no cameras whatsoever. So, and again, one of the reasons I'm not into strange sex places personally, it's not good sex.
Yeah, no, it's uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable. It's not, you're doing it for the story, not for the sex.
Just to say you did.
Just to say you did. Okay. So if anybody's got a strange sex place, you can send it to me. I don't know why, but you can. Okay. Now real quick, 5 minutes on this one, how to know if you're in love. And these interested me because of how over the top they are. But I guess love is over the top, isn't it?
Yeah, these aren't already 1 and 2. I would say that is not a sign of in love. That's a sign of insecure.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Are you jealous of anyone who would get too close to this person that you like so much? You're just... Yeah, you're already don't trust the person that you're dating.
It's already insecure. Like,
so
are you insecure? That would be yes.
Number one, this is more, are you a stalker? This isn't if you're in love, if you're a stalker. Are you frustrated because the person you like is not paying attention to you? What?
No,
so
this is like you said, are you obsessed or are you a stalker?
Are you obsessed? And there's no way they're in love with you. They're not.
You don't even know them.
This is crazy. You don't even, are you with some girl you've never met? Are you in love with, do you spend hours locked away thinking about a specific person?
Seriously.
Are they 13? Is this a 13-year-old person that's in love with?
And they answered yes, they need therapy.
Well, and is it Donna? Is it me and my Farrah Fawcett poster? I mean,
you could totally be in love with your Farrah Fawcett poster.
That's right. Oh my God. This is horrible. Marriage.com has the worst quizzes. Every bad quiz we've had has been marriage.com. So are you frustrated because, okay, do you spend hours? This is crazy. Yes, very often. Then you need help. Do you ask questions about a specific person all the time? I don't know what that means.
Like, what are they doing? Where are they at? Or stalk their Instagram.
What's their schedule?
Right. What do they wear today? What do they eat for dinner?
What is are their windows breakable? How stabby are they? What? That is so crazy. Do you make plans about living the rest of your life with that special person? Well, okay.
Without even knowing them.
It doesn't say that. but now that I've seen, what?
That was your Farrah Fawcett poster.
That was my Farrah Fawcett poster. Just those little not bra wearing bathing suit.
Stop it.
Do you make plans about living the rest of your life with that special? Now, I mean, although I will give it to the fact that people have done this. You know, you've thought about what the rest of your life will be like. And I do it in the opposite too.
That would be a normal relationship phase, is making plans about living. Yeah. That's not, are you in love with this person? That's
but I do that with people I'm not in love with too. I think about like the girl I was in high school with that I dated. Oh my God, what the hell would that life have been? Holy crap.
That's a nightmare.
That's a nightmare because that was because we were kids. And so I remember, and her mom asked me, we'd been dating about a year. And so when are you guys getting married? I said, never. We're never getting. What are you, crazy? We're freaking 18. and I haven't even been to college, and she hasn't been to college. What? That was the writing on the wall for me on that one. So, do you stutter every time you see a particular person?
I stuttered when I saw Gordon Ramsay.
Then you talk to him?
Yes, I saw him in a restaurant. He was sitting in his restaurant and there was nobody else in there. And I walked past him and I got so nervous. And then I walked past again. I got so nervous. And then I walked back in again and I said, hi. But I was like,
so you're in love with Gordon Ramsay and you should marry Gordon Ramsay.
Yes, I am. Now we have to call my husband.
Do you stutter? I had a speech impediment as a child, so I was in love with everybody.
It's funny.
Does your heart beat faster every time you are around this person?
But like that might have been new, but I'm in love with my husband and my heart doesn't beat faster.
My heart's not. I hope not. I hope I don't have high blood pressure. Are we going to die early for the rest of our lives? Well, my heart beats faster on people who want to beat me up too. So that's, I'm like fight or flight, fight, flight, or bang. Is that the three things now? It's not just fight or flight, fight, flight, or bang.
For another reason, your heart is beating fast.
Yeah.
While this person, you are scared that they are going to hit you.
Who's taking this quiz and says, no, not at all? Well, then, okay, then you're probably, none of this is true. Do you enjoy this person's company? Nope.
Not at all.
Then you're definitely in love. That's love right there.
Right.
You enjoy a little bit sometimes, but not in a romantic way.
Can't this be for I have coworkers. I enjoy their company. I have friends. I enjoy their company.
I think this quiz is for 7-year-olds. Okay. 2, and we're done. Do you feel lonely or lost every time this person goes away? Well, that would be.
That's back to the obsessed.
Yeah, that's obsessed.
You don't have to feel lost every time your partner leaves the building.
And that person feels relieved every time you go away.
Right.
They feel, holy crap, I got to get out of this. Do you always want to sit? Do you always want to sit next to this person? What? No.
Always. I have to tell you, I was in a restaurant. So I'm going to ask you a question. And this relates to this. I was in a restaurant with my granddaughter the last week, and we were sitting at a 2-top, and she was sitting across from me. And even if I go to dinner with my husband, we typically sit across from each other.
Yeah,
it's like I'm thinking we're talking to each other, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, this couple next to us, it's a 2-top, a little skinny 2-top table. And they were sitting on the same side, and they were like 50-something years old. Okay. So I was like, that looks a little odd, sitting at a 2-top table on the same top side of the table. It was a booth on one side and a chair on the other side. And it was a little tiny table, and they were sitting on the same side in the booth area of the little skinny table. Would you do that?
Sometimes we do that. My parents in their restaurant have 4 booths that are only one side of the booth. There's only 2 seats next to you, and people love those tables. Love it. Love sitting there. For some reason, there's an intimacy to it. And every once in a while, yes, especially if it's a booth on one side and 2 chairs on the other, and there's something to see, like there's a band.
Are you watching? Yeah.
Yeah. Are you watching? By the way, I forgot to play the intro today. Did you notice that?
I thought it was really quick into your thing. I'm like, I wasn't even late.
Well, I'm going to play the outro, and then play the intro, and then we'll be done. And then I'm going to cut the intro in later. So, okay. Well, everybody answer that question for yourself. Will you sit on the same side of the booth? Donna Wilburn, thank you very much. I'm Brad Tassell. Live free. Go to your appointment. Yeah. 1,000 Questions is an entertaining discussion of marriage. We aren't telling you to do or feel or change anything about your life. Really, just listen and enjoy. And if you need real help, find a professional for your specific problem. We don't know you. How could we speak to your deal? Okay, have fun.